Hi, everyone, and thanks for checking out the preview show delivered by FedEx. I'm Marty Snider from NBC Sports. He is Chris Rice from NTS Motorsports, also right here at NASCAR.com. Rice, the chase is here. Time to get the playoffs going. I know you're excited, aren't you?
The playoffs. We go for the playoffs every week, but, man, I'm so excited to see who wins and makes it to the next round. That's what I'm excited about.
It's going to be fun, certainly, in this new elimination format. It has made it very exciting to watch in 3 races in this first round as we get that kicked off at Chicagoland this weekend. But before we get there, I want to talk about Matt Kenseth's big win at Richmond, a dominating win. That's 2 in the last few races for the 20 team. What sort of message are they sending? Are you a little worried they might be peaking before they get in the chase?
I'm real worried that they're peaking before, but they're sending a message that, hey, they're here to win a championship, and they're going all after it. But I'm really worried that they're peaking too early because we have 10 races to get a champion here, and I'm a little concerned that they're going too fast, too quick.
All right, well, let's check out the newly reseeded chase grid. 16 drivers separated by just 12 points now. And as we look at the chase grid, Chris, I want to know which driver and team on this chase grid kind of surprises you that they were able to make it into the chase in 2015.
I look at Michael Waltrip Racing. We know a while back they had talked about, hey, we're closing shop. And when we see that happen, normally, okay, we cease a lot of things. We don't get new cars. We don't work on our bodies. And they didn't do that. They stuck to their game plan. All the guys just kept doing what they were doing. The pit crew was great. Clint done an awesome job. They surprised me that they're still in there.
Well, you have to certainly give credit to Billy Scott and Clint Boyer, as you mentioned, because he was really a leader in that whole process and saying, guys, we're going to do this together and we're going to finish out the season strong. 2 new drivers for the first time ever in the chase, Jamie McMurray, Paul Menard, but 6 new crew chiefs. First time ever in the chase for these crew chiefs. You got Matt McCall, Billy Scott, Adam Stevens, Justin Alexander, Cole Pearn, and Greg Ives. I'm just curious from your standpoint, that lack of experience, that inexperience, how will that come to play in these 10 races?
Well, it's one guy or one team that sticks out to me that I worry about. The other ones, they have engineers. They have great teams behind them. And also, Dale Jr. and Greg Ives has a great team, and they've won a lot of championships there, but I think the pressure could get to Greg Ives. I mean, look, let's call a spade a spade. We have Junior Nation going, we need to win a championship. We need to win a championship. And they need to go out and win a championship. The pressure could get to him because they have social media and everything that he sees, you know. I worry about Greg Ives a little bit.
Well, and there's pressure when Jeff Gordon gets out of the car after Richmond and says Dale Jr. is the best running Hendrick car right now. So that means that he's probably their best shot to get there. So I want to talk to you about your Final Four while we're talking the chase. Who do you have in the Final Four as we get down to it at Homestead?
Well, I've done a lot of studying, and when you and I talked about this, I'm going with 4 cars that, you know, everybody's going to go, really? He didn't pick this car. I'm going with the 22. He's going to be in there. I feel like the 4 car will be there. I also like Kyle Busch to make it to the championship, but I am picking the 41 as my sleeper to make it all the way to Homestead to go for a championship.
So Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, and Kyle Busch as well, making it into your Final Four. Of those guys, I noticed no Hendrick Motorsports teams. What are their chances right now?
I don't feel their chances are real good because they don't have speed. They don't have speed really anywhere they go. The first lap on a racetrack, we know whether a team's going to be good or bad. We know you're going to have a good week or a bad week. Some races you can make it up, but they hadn't had speed in a while. I'm worried about Hendrick Motorsports making it to Homestead to run for a championship.
Everyone wants to talk about the switch they can flip on all of a sudden in the final 10 races. Jimmy Johnson does an incredible job in those final 10 races. They're his best racetracks, and he can concentrate. But I just don't know. I agree with you. They're sort of missing the speed. All that said, who's your championship pick?
22. Todd Gordon made some mistakes last year at Homestead. I feel like those mistakes are gone. They know how to win a championship. They know how to lose a championship, first off. But the 22 is my pick to win the championship this year.
That would be a big season for Joey Logano to win the Daytona 500 and the championship as well. Certainly a big season for those guys if that could happen. Chicagoland is where we kick it all off this weekend. It's a worn-out racetrack, Chris, which is fantastic. Drivers and teams love that. Why does that make the racing better?
Well, low grip. I mean, we all talk about, hey, we need to see passing. Passing comes when we have low grip, when another car in front of you is not handling as well, and you can drive up beside him and you can drive around him. That's what we want to see. We've seen that at Darlington with low grip in the tires. Goodyear brought a tire that fell off, and when we talk about fall off, we talk about it starts at a certain speed and falls to this speed, and 2 seconds was the difference. That's what we're going to see at Chicago because the racetrack is bumpy, low grip, and I mean, Goodyear's going to bring a tire that does fall off. I'm excited to watch who wins the race, because I feel the pit crew will be the key to winning the race.
Interesting. A lot of people are excited to get to Chicagoland this weekend. Who's your pick for the race this weekend?
Well, I'm going with the 22. The 22 has got to win the championship. But the Penske Brigade is always good at a low grip, bumpy racetrack. They've always been good at Kentucky. They'll be really good at Chicago because Chicago has turned into a little bit like Kentucky.
It's funny, Todd Gordon and I were talking about that same exact thing this week about how they're so good at those low grip racetracks. So good pick by you. If you don't mind, I'm going to go with his teammate, Brad Keselowski, who I felt was so strong at the Southern 500 at Darlington. And I think you can kind of compare those surfaces almost. Obviously, doesn't quite wear out at Chicagoland like it does at Darlington, but Keselowski should have the speed this weekend. And I think that team has been close enough that they want to get over the hump and finally get that win, and he loves this racetrack. That's what makes this elimination format so much fun. We're going to watch it all right here on NASCAR.com throughout the chase. Can't wait to get it kicked off this weekend at Chicagoland and keep it parked right here on NASCAR.com all weekend long. Live leaderboards, in-car audio, and the updated chase grid right after the Chicagoland race. Enjoy Chicago this weekend, everybody. We'll be back here to talk race number 2 and round number 1 at New Hampshire next week. See you then.